I just sprayed some brake cleaner into the chamber where the coolant would go, and letting that flush itself out underneath. When I'm done, what I'll do, you don't need to see me do it because I don't want to record that again. I'm going to go underneath and tighten up that bolt and close up the engine once I'm done. Alright, so I think before I do that, I'm going to try to like spray a little bit of compressed air, force some more liquids through there. Move these guide pins out of the way so that way they don't get lost. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. Again, I'm going to go underneath and put that bolt back in right now. So we're done right now with the cleaning out of that. Yeah, I'm kidding. What's the point of a repair video if I don't show you mostly everything I do, right? Anyway, you would just go watch somebody else's channel. That's not my style. So this is important. Clean this off. It's just using a brake parts cleaner, carb cleaner, I'm sorry. And I'm doing it because I want to make sure those threads are clean when I screw it back in. I don't want any thing to like mess up the threads. So this is a 19. '91. Yeah. Was that 61? Say. Yeah. It's a 61 socket. Yeah, okay, that's pretty big. Anyway, yeah, look at this. This is like stripping it right there. That's crazy. Okay, that's what I was saying. Let's go give it a shot, put it back in. Alright. So I'm not sure how easy it is for you to see, but we're going to do a couple things. I hope you can see it. My hands, the bolt's right here. A hole. So I'm going to do, put your glasses, spray some carb cleaner up there. Just want to wipe out that hole. Just gonna wipe it out, make sure the threads are clean. Oh, there it is. That's the gasket. So thread's clean. Right. Not like that. We have the bolt. So the bolt goes up around the gasket like this. See? Sorry, one more time. Just want to make sure you saw what happened. There's a gasket right here. A humbug. Right here, gasket. Put that on. Like that. Okay. I'm gonna take my 19mm. Let's see if we can just gonna line them up. And just get them started. The engine have some bad news. This is it's warped, right? We knew that already. In a perfect world, we would have just taken it and gotten it shaved off the bottom, that is, right here. And it would have been, you know, flat again. All right, here's the problem, right? I'm gonna try my best to explain it the way Rob, the owner of this great company that does amazing work on rebuilding just engine parts, you know. I'll send a link to, I'll share a link to this company. They're the best. Like, Rob is super knowledgeable. and really interested in helping you out. So he's a great guy, right? That's what he said to me, right? So what we have, right, with these valves here is so you know, on this side over here we have the exhaust valves, and this says is the intake valves. Now, because the engine is warped, right, so it could be bowing like that or concave. I'm not sure what it is for this one. Or it could also be, you know, has some torque like that on a long axis. What's happening is the way these seats sit, right? So these valves here. Okay. So what's happening is that they're leaking. And they're leaking a lot, not just a little bit. So the engine is, I mean, he could redo the seat, right, to make sure it matches a nice flat surface so these can like mate and close up. Only problem is, right, it's like, if you can imagine, if this is also bent or concave or concaves, right, what you would end up having is this issue where the camshaft itself has a certain amount of like space it's allowed to roll around, right, or not. So that's going to have to be like, you know, this is going to have to match by removing metal here what looks like what straight would be like. They'll also take I don't actually don't think they'll remove metal here on the camshaft. Right, they would have to shave some. I don't know where they would shave it from. But they would have to shave some stuff to get that off, right? So for now, what we're gonna do, I ordered another one. You know, it's just I ordered a rebuilt one, a company in California. So I'll let you know how that goes. And I think for now, let's try to put this back together. Let's say we got this back. It was wonderful. They did a good job. I want to try to put this back together so we can see what that process would have looked like, right? Alright, so here we go. See, remember those? Remember they were like closed? Some of those were open on the, I think this is piston 2. I want to know, because my concern was I knew these would have to be closed so that to take a slither off the bottom there. Let's try to put it back together. What it should have looked like, right? The whole process. So let's make sure you can see everything. Alright, so I kept this in the same orientation I got it in. Goes like that. That's what would have happened, right? And then this, right, would sit on top of here like this. Remember, I have to do this anyway because of this, the part that I ordered, the company, they need the core back. It's a part of the agreement. So we have some bolts here, and there's an order to this. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So what I would have done, right, was just get this back like that. And let's try to pull this back together. So that's what we have. guess that grabbed. That grabbed. Nope. That's grabbed. That's grabbed. That's also grabbed. Nope. Yep, that grabbed. That's good. And that grabbed. Alright, so the bolt in order, right? We would go from the center on out. So the reverse of what we did. And, it would look like this. It would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right? So that would be the order. A really important thing to know about your cylinder head is the actual casting. Now the casting, you can see it right there. It's P2F-HA. And that helps to identify this casting here of this cylinder head when you try to get a new one or whatever you needed to identify. So that's the, again, that's the that is the casting information right there. Okay. Over here I noticed that it's also printed on this. You can see some other important information right there. It's like D17, 7, 2, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I don't know how useful those numbers are, but yeah, that one's really good. And unboxed this cylinder head. And really excited about getting this done. And I think I'm trying to anticipate what I think we'll be missing or not. I want to keep the box intact because this is exactly the same container I have to send this back in. So. Wow. I'm so looking forward to getting one thing done today. Putting this back on. That would be nice. I can get this on today, and the okay. That's pretty cool. It's very clean. It looks like top dead center. No. Should go off of memory. Okay, so yeah, it's missing those. Okay, so the new head has lots of things that are missing. This is the old one. You can see that there are no studs on either side. So I got some new studs, but only got enough for one side. So I'm going to try to take these studs off. These three need to come off and go over there. Let's start with the studs, right? Yeah, you agree? I like it. I am going to try to do the, let's put this back in the box. Okay, so I think that, let me give you a better shot, set it up a little better. We're going to have to just kind of like clamp this down just to help us keep this from sliding. Now I'm not clamping tight because this isn't top dead center, and that means that the valves are actually pushing out of the bottom of it. 4-cylinder, I think it's 2 or not. So I just you can see it's just really light. I just need to hold it down so I can do this. These are 12mm bolts, and I have a 12mm socket, and I'm going to use my 12mm wrench on this. I always use a 6-point, just like you know. Okay, so we're going to use, these bolts came from the exhaust side. How did that happen? Okay. I want to try to take, let me see if I can get that one off, right? So to do this, right, usually you would screw it down like that. Yeah, right, so usually you would just, you know, the flat side would touch what you're going on. We're going to have to go the opposite way. We're going to go like this. And I was thinking, probably, I think I should put that on first so I can slide it back onto it. I'm just trying. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this kind of, I didn't anticipate that the studs wouldn't come at it. But anyway. Okay. Let's make sure I can get a good swing. So what's happening, this will tighten down onto that. Let's see if I can get this off. I should probably want to just tighten the front up a little. Make sure they're bumping together. Nothing too crazy, you don't want to strip anything. Okay, so this should help me get this stud out. There you go. So that worked really well. Before I get it all the way out, what I want to do is loosen up this top one. So that way I can, should be able to yeah, look at this, the stud still spins, okay. So I'm going to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more times, right? And then I'm going to bring you back when I'm done. Okay, so I'll finish one so you can see. The reason why I'm reusing the intake side studs because they've been less exposed to the elements. So I'm gonna just keep that on there. I was banking on that they're going to be easier to pull out. That's why. So if I'm right, so far you can see this one was pretty easy. Right, that's one. Sounds good? Alright. I was also thinking, you know, it'd be a good idea, maybe like throw a little like mark on them. Just like maybe something like this. So I'll know like, oh yeah, that's how far in that was, you know? Just for installation purposes. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and duplicate this process and get all those. So I got most of these off. That one right there, the threads are boogered up. I don't want to really mess with that one too much, but these, this is what they look like. So I marked them. Kind of helps me know like how far they were in. So short side is the side that's in the block. So what we're going to do is let's use the we're going to leave that one alone. I don't want to, if I don't have to fight with it, I don't need to. If I want to come back, switch it out and get a better stud in there, because I can't sleep at night, because you know that's going to happen, right? Then I'll do it. So I'm going to find the least crusty one out of these, and then again, don't clamp down tight with this. You just want to just hold it, that's all. Okay. And I noticed that this goes a lot better when you stick it off the edge a little bit. It looks like this. What do you think? Eeny, meeny, miny. One of those. That looks, the grooves look really nice. Nah, the grooves look really nice in this one. But that looks corroded in there. Let's go with this one. Right. So, I put the wrench on first. I'm going to have to hit that with a wire wheel. Just so I can... do a little bit of job with the quality of that. Okay, so that's on. Right. Now I think these are going to be a little harder to get off, just because they're on the hotter side of the engine. But I could be wrong, so I'm just tightening them together. They're two nuts. Okay, let's see if we can break it free. The stud, that is. Yep, that worked. About 3 years ago, my friend, you know, like we all have friends that just don't take care of their cars. You know, one of them asked me, he has a Subaru. I went to buy it with him, and I really enjoy the car, and the make model of the car is really cool. I like the Subaru a lot. And but you know, he doesn't really take care of his car. You know what I mean? He's that kind of car owner. Don't check any fluids. The car had an obvious leak when we purchased it, like an oil leak. You know, all leaks get worse. They don't stop. And he, for the most part, just ignored it. Just wanted to clean it up. And he blew his head gasket, so we're going to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to use all of these, okay, on the intake side. And he blew his head gasket, and after he blew his head gasket, he was like, can you help me fix it? You know, and I was just like, oh no, man, that's freaking Subaru. I don't even know about Hondas. And even still, like, I wasn't even prepared to do anything like this. But now after I'm doing this, I feel pretty golden. So some of you remember how uninterested I am trying to fight with that one. That's a 22 millimeter, and I'm gonna have to take it off. I don't have a choice, so I hope that this goes well. Yeah. Is that even turning? Jeez. Yes, it's turning. Okay, so that's really small threads on there. Okay. All right, now we're gonna wire wheel some stuff. This is a brass wheel. Okay. Go fit your glasses. Let's go really light, and I'm gonna go in a circular pattern, not an up and down, because I don't want to mess with the threads. That looks. So remember our bag? Yeah, it's a good thing we kept these things all organized together. So these are the two, right? And they came off. Now it looks like, I don't know, I'm tempted to say like some sort of Teflon tape might be useful on this one. And this also. They're a little dirty, so let's go spend some time cleaning them off. The threads on this one look pretty good. Yeah, I wish it was cleaner, but whatever. It is what it is. So I'm just gonna just take a little bit of soap and water and wipe the dirt off it. Clean this. So after cleaning this, I noticed that it has a O-ring on there, and I see lots of O-rings in the kit that I got, but I'm unsure which one to use. So if it leaks, I know what to do. I'll just, there's an O-ring that it fails. So I want to put some Teflon tape on this. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I'll tell you why I think it is, because it makes sense. When it came off, it kind of looked like it had something like a Teflon tape on it, but I wasn't really too sure. You know. that's in. Interesting. That's the first time I even noticed that it actually comes out on the other side. Great. My light's not here. Anyway, so we got that in. Let's put this one in also. Too much. Alright, let me take it off. Try it without it. Yeah. That was good. You know, I was thinking, I think I'm gonna have a nickname for people that destroys cars. I'll call them Thanos of automobiles. That's it. I mean, just some people just don't take care of their car, and I don't understand why. It's not hard. Yeah, well, I have a couple people that are just ridiculous with that. Okay, so that's that. I think we should do it to this one. The threads on this one are super thin. I don't even know if it's worth it. Just make sure it can go in. Yeah. This is the one I'm worried about. It's turning. It's turning. I don't see any reason to put any threading on there, but I do want to put some oil on this. So I'm just putting some motor oil on that. Let's try that again. Yeah, all right. That's so much better. Let's just tighten these down. This is a 12. this one's really interesting because you don't have to go too crazy on this one because it just doesn't need a lot of anything, torque or anything like that. This is a 19. Okay, 19, 12, 22. Okay, so we're good with those. All right, let's put the exhaust manifold. I'm sorry, the stud. I want to show you something about the bottom here, the valves that protrude. See those right there? That's why I say don't clamp down hard, because you don't want to bend your valves. Now, an ideal situation would be to have something that, you know, holds this afloat, which we don't have, right? So just don't do anything silly, right? Okay, so I'm going to try to put these studs in on the I want to do the intake, yeah, so that let me just see something here. Yeah, okay, that's the exhaust side, intake side. Okay, I had it right. Just let it stick over the edge a little bit. Okay. So we take all of these that we just took off, right? I think I want to actually get a little bit more access to the oil, motor oil, that is. And I think the best way to do this is to just kind of like pour it in a little lid or something like this. Yeah, this will work. It's gonna pour it in here and then, you know, so I can roll the studs around in it. So like you can see, like that. I'll just roll the studs in them as I install. What's he doing off camera? He's not showing us. Yeah. Let's get us some more gloves. Okay. So these studs, remember, they are not equidistant from that center part. I'm going to make sure this shorter side goes into the engine block. Okay, I'll get you one that's, I'll show you one that's I marked. See how I marked it right there? That's how far down they go. Alright, so this is what I'm doing. It's gonna just roll that in there. Start from the outside. Alright, so you see what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it for all of those, and I'll bring you back when I'm get 5 of these on. I just want to show you what I'm going to do to tighten these down. Just kind of replicate the same process. Even better. I don't really have to. They kind of like bottom out at that. I thought I had to be used 2, but I don't. So I'll do a better job next time and show you. So you can use a wrench. A wrench would be a lot faster. Yep, that's as far as it needs to go. Okay, so you can just go like this. Take your, because that lip is, it can't go past the lip. The lip is the, this bolt will go to the very, very end. I'll be a little more clear. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Come on, stay. Okay. All right, so what I was saying, right, is it's, you can't really mess up because, see, you just screw the bolt down till it hits there. Can't go any further. This stops it from going into the block, so that's how you know. All right, so just replicate that for all of them, and we'll do the. Oh yeah, here's a better way to do this too. So keep your hands out of the way. So I just kind of like tilt it to one side and roll it around, and that way I won't have to like fight with getting this in. So we're on the exhaust side, and I got some new studs. That's the part number X001VZADPB, and they are stainless exhaust head stud bolts. Also comes with washers. Interesting. Washers and studs. These look very different from the ones that are in my car. But anyway, let's go with it. Let's run with it because we don't have time. See if this screws in. Sure does. It's probably aftermarket stuff. Any idea what the washers are for? Didn't have them on the other parts when I took them off. So. Some of you are probably thinking you can just go ahead and do the same thing. This side it's going to be a little different because the I didn't want to rob you of the real-time experience, so just wanted to show you what 3 of them will look like, and you can see how I kind of figure out a bit of a workflow to help get these into position. Do the rest. So I want you to take a look at something. I have a camshaft seal I need to put in here. And you know what? And I also noticed something different too about these 2 castings. See how that one has a bolt there? This one does not. That intrigues me. This is a P2A-7 casting. This is a P2F-5. Okay, so that's why they're different. And I bet you that bolt right there bleeds out the oil. Interesting. Okay. Let us... yeah. It's Honda, so there's a good bit of, they tend to have a lot of similarities in parts from multiple generations. Little variants here and there. Okay. So this goes right in here like that. I don't know if I need any oil. Looks like it just slides in pretty well. Yeah, let's just lube it, you know. So I put a little motor oil. Very, very light, thin coat of motor oil. And I'll put a little bit on the shaft here also. Okay, so that sits flush like that. Yep, and that's pretty flush. Just get extra oil off of here. So there you go. I'm just checking it to see how it feels. I'm thinking I can probably push it in just a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, let me get a little bigger socket and just push down on it a little bit more. I think maybe this 22 might work. No. All right. All right, I got a 1 1/4 socket here. Just to push on this a little. Okay, just want to keep it even. Okay, that looks better. Okay, so now we're all the way in. Okay. All right. I'm happy with that. Anybody want to see how true this is? You know, just wondering. See if it's really that flat. Oh, that's pretty darn flat, all right. Yes. Super flat. Wow. Can't go across here because of that, so go like this. This thing is amazing. Man. Go machine shop. Look at that. Yeah. Cool. I think we have ourselves a winner. Alright, so we got some new bolts. You know, some people recommend using their old bolts, but I really, I don't know, I'm going to do the new bolt way. So this is the part number X0025KPTN7. And we're going to use these bolts instead of my old bolts. So what we got? I like it. Alright, so before we proceed, we really need to clean. See all that stuff right here? Some residues. We need to clean this all off. I'm going to turn this piston, make sure everything gets, the walls are all clean, because that stuff will destroy your cylinder wall. those two guide pins. Gonna make sure you keep them there. Okay, so the gasket. This is the new Felpro gasket. Those two openings right there will go forwards. Surface has to be super clean, so let's talk about it before we get to it. Like this right here. Oh, I don't even like that. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna clean that. So that you know, when you put this, before you tighten on these head bolts, make sure you put this cam on. Sprocket on. Make sure it's in the up position, which is like top dead center. And you can tell because of those timing marks. There's a mark here. It's on the camshaft. There's a line right there. And on this side, there's a line over here. Okay. So make sure that that's top dead center in this position, and you'll know because the word up. See it right there. See right here. It says up. Right there. Sorry. Okay. Well, I'm sure you can see it. You remember what it looked like. I showed it to you earlier. There you go. Up. Okay. So with all that, that's done, then you can move on. This is not going to be filmed in the right order because I didn't do this. I had to redo this, so in the future videos this won't be on. Just letting you know. So get some isopropyl, some clean paper towel. The surface is immaculate. I mean, cleaner than when your mom made you do your room, you know? Like that clean. Like Martha Stewart kind of clean. That's what you want. You don't want any dirt. Nothing on there. You can even move those guide pins. You can really get in it. Clean around the guide pins too. Alright, I'm going to also do the same thing on the other side of the gaskets. It touched it. I wasn't happy with the little grind that I was feeling. So, take the gasket here. Really meticulous about this. It's like such an important part. This is exactly what you did all this work for right here. To get this right. So don't get it wrong. You know? Now's not the time to cut corners. feel the surface again, make sure it's super clean. Yeah, it's super clean. There's nothing there. So we got that down. Alright, this is what we've been waiting for. These bolts open. Dipping me some oil. Very delicate with this here. Trying to get it so it settles into you'll feel it. Alright, there you go. So we are almost down, it feels like. Almost. So, does that look right? Like that. Okay. So that's really the better way to do it. Just lift it up. Use the guide pins. Alright, ready to do this? Okay. This has some details to it. Let's follow the rules. Ready? All right. Okay. Driver side, passenger side of the car. Driver, passenger, front. I'm going to start with this bolt. That. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got it? That's how we're going to tighten it. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got it? And we're going to go in order. We're going to 14, we'll do 15 feet per pound, which is like 20 Newton meters. And we're going to go 36 feet per pound, which is 49 Newton meters. And then we're going to finish off at 49 feet per pound, which is 67 Newton meters. Okay? Now here's the thing. We're going to do bolt number 1 and 2 at the very end again at 49 feet per pound. Got it? Alright, so let's do this. So we want to oil the bolts.
Yo! Yo! Alright, man, fuck you then.
Also, forgot to mention something. Here, I want to show it to you. See the washer at the top here needs to have oil on it also, right? So don't just oil the bolt. You want to oil this surface right here. Okay. Got it? Let them lose their bolt. Back. Worst things that can happen. Ah, that's definitely one of them. Alright, I just lost my bolt. Alright. Okay. You saw that, right? Okay, you're gonna just wet all your bolts with oil, and then we're gonna put them all in, and then hand tighten it. Okay. All right, here's a better workflow. Take the bolt head like that, dip that in there like this, right? Then turn it around, and then go like that. That's a better workflow. I have all my bolts in. Just gonna hand tighten them. If you feel any like force, like you're fighting too much, just go ahead and stop, you know? Like they should kind of flow really smoothly. Like some of these back here feel a little, like they're getting caught up on something. Front ones are pretty easy. Not sure why the back ones fit so. Kind of running out of sunlight here. We'll have to proceed tomorrow. Camera kind of processes light a little differently from my eye, so sometimes it feels like it's too dark and it's like pretty okay, but I'm in no rush. So Alright, you see what I'm doing. Keep on. Alright, so let's talk about torquing things down. In general, you want to try to go as least as possible extensions as, you know, when you're trying to get an accurate torque, because all this changes the torque value. I'm gonna have to do some adaptations, so you know, I'm not too happy with that. This is going to be the most accurate if we can go like that. Okay, so we have a 14. I have to use a 3/8 because my 14mm half-inch is too thick. Okay, so do 3/8, 14mm, non-wobbly because I don't want to mess up the torque values. Then I gotta go half-inch adapter to 3/8, and then from here to the torque wrench. Right. So the first thing we're gonna do 15 feet per pound. So feet per pound. So loosen this up to the bottom here. Turn this to 15. So, all right, there. That's 15. We'll lock the bottom like that. Okay. And when you do this, you want to do this all in one long sweeping motion like this. Right? And you know the order, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Eight. 9. 10. Okay, so now we're going to go up to 36 feet per pound, right? So loosen up the bottom. Okay. I'm gonna go to 36. So 30. 36. Tighten up the bottom. Start over again. 1. Remember, long sweeping motions. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. 9. 10. Alright, so now we're gonna go to 49 feet per pound. Right, so that was the penultimate. This is the final. So we're gonna go to 49. So look at that. That's 40. 7, 8. That would be 49 right there. All right. Tighten down the bottom. One. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay. And then we're gonna go back to these 1 and 2 and hit them again. The same value, 49 feet per pound. Alright, and that's it. We're torqued up and we're good to go. Very important, whenever you're done with your torque wrench, never ever leave it engaged. Just unscrew it all the way down to there where there's nothing left, okay? Because you'll damage the springs and it'll get inaccurate.